Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Cage. On the line today, we have a very special guest. He will be fighting at Bellator 183 against Paul Daley. He is the Monsoon, Lorenz, Larkin, and Lorenz. Thanks for coming on Beyond the Cage.
Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Thanks, man. What is the? It's PAT.
Now, looking at this fight here against Paul Daley, a guy that's known for his kickboxing and obviously his power, is that something that worries you at all heading into this bout, Lorenz?
No, man. I've been in this game for a good amount of time, and I've seen power. I just fought somebody with more power than I believe he has, so I'm not concerned.
Now, looking at his last effort, he took on Rory McDonald and did not fare very well against the Canadian, getting taken out pretty early in his hometown of London. Do you see a similar ending for him when he faces you?
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if this is gonna end in the first or in the third. It's all depending on. I feel like how I'm feeling at that moment.
Now, even though you do have impressive stand-up skills and could outpoint or certainly knock out Mr. Paul Daley, obviously with his grappling deficiencies, do you think as though that it would be more beneficial to take the fight into that area, or do you think stand up with him, he won't bother you at all?
No, I don't think on the stand-up game he's gonna bother me. So we'll see.
Now, this is your second Bellator fight. Your first fight, obviously, a few months ago at the big Bellator pay-per-view. Just having that experience going through Bellator compared to your UFC and even Strikeforce tenure, did anything surprise you about fighting in Bellator compared to some of those other organizations?
It's just I like the whole production side of on with Bellator. As far as the attention to the fighter, our walkouts. It's just a lot more freedom that I felt, fighting my last fight.
Now, even though that last fight against Douglas Lima, which was for the Bellator Welterweight Championship, didn't go your way, what were you able to take away from that experience fighting a guy the caliber of Douglas Lima?
Just I made a couple mistakes, and that it was a competitive match. It wasn't like a landslide. So, I just take a couple things from that and work my way back up the ladder and fix those mistakes next time we meet.
Now, one thing you did very well that he talked about after the fight that for sure threw him off his game was switching to southpaw. Is that something you plan to implement again here in this fight against Paul Daley?
It all depends on, what goes on in the fight. These aren't things that, these are things that I work on, but it's not meant for the fight. These are just things that I'm always trying to improve on and things like that. And, and however the fight may go, I'll adapt to that style, so it's more of a thing that, it's not that I trained my last fight to fight him southpaw. It was just, I've been working southpaw and, the opportunity came in that fight to where I should use it. And, that's when I started using it.
Now, like you said, you've been working on the southpaw. You used it in that fight against Douglas Lima. Is that something now heading into this fight, like you said, if you do switch to it, that you're going to feel a lot more comfortable with from this point moving forward in your career?
Yeah, I feel comfortable southpaw. So, if the opportunity arises, in this fight, then I'll use it. If not, then I'll stick to, being orthodox.
Now, in this fight, is there anything in particular that you've been working on for this camp that you want to showcase for the fans there in attendance and watching on TV when you fight there in San Jose?
No, man. I've just been working on just getting all my tools together, and put on a great fight for everybody.
Now, one thing I wanted to let you know is I'm one of your followers on Snapchats, and I do love your Snapchat, by the way. It's always very entertaining. And you're known for doing the hair clipper buzz unexpected cut there to a lot of people, your friends and training partners and whatnot. And is there anyone that you haven't got with those clippers that you're still trying to get, or anyone that, or has you been able to get anyone that you wanted to so far with that?
I don't know. I've had quite a bit of people, but I don't know. With me, it's just weird, man. It's just however I'm feeling, then I'll just do it. So sometimes I'm not even thinking about it, and sometimes I'll be eating and it just pops in my head like, okay, let's get somebody.
All right, well, he is Da Monsoon Lorenz Larkin, and that's also his Twitter handle, Da_Monsoon, and also on Snapchat as well. And Lorenz, thanks again for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. I look forward to your fight against Paul Daley this weekend at Bellator 183.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Lorenz Larkin right here with me, Jim Graham, on Beyond the Cage.